Right now, in this very moment, there's a voice speaking to you. It's not coming from outside. It's not coming from another person. It's coming from the source of all creation, from the intelligence that beats your heart without you having to think about it, from the wisdom that grows your hair and heals your cuts while you sleep. And that voice is saying something so simple, yet so powerful that it can change your entire life in an instant. Stop worrying and start trusting. You see, worry is nothing more than a prayer for what you don't want. Every time you worry, you're actually focusing your creative energy on bringing into your life the very thing you're afraid of. You're taking the incredible power that the universe has given you, the power to create your reality through your thoughts, and you're using it backwards. You're using it to manufacture fear instead of faith, doubt instead of certainty, problems instead of solutions. But here's what I want you to understand today. The same creative force that spins the planets in their orbits, that causes the seasons to change in perfect order, that orchestrates the migration of birds across thousands of miles, that same force is working in your life right now. It's not working against you. It's not trying to harm you. It's not punishing you. It's working for you, through you. When you worry, you're essentially telling this infinite intelligence that you don't trust it. You're saying, I know better than the force that created the entire universe. I need to figure this out myself. I need to control every outcome. But think about how ridiculous that really is. The same intelligence that manages billions of stars and galaxies can't handle your problems. The same wisdom that coordinates every cell in your body, every beat of your heart, every breath you take without your conscious involvement, can't manage your life circumstances. The truth is, worry is a habit. It's a learned behavior that you've practiced so many times that it feels natural. But just because something feels natural doesn't mean it's beneficial. Just because you've always done something doesn't mean you have to keep doing it. You can change this habit today. You can replace worry with trust, anxiety with faith, fear with love. Think about a small child for a moment. When a 3-year-old goes to sleep at night, they don't lie awake worrying about where tomorrow's food will come from. They don't stress about whether the sun will rise or whether their parents will still love them in the morning. They simply trust. They know without any doubt that they are loved and cared for. They fall asleep peacefully because they have complete faith that their needs will be met. That's the kind of trust you're being asked to return to. Not the naive trust of someone who ignores reality, but the mature trust of someone who understands that there's a higher intelligence at work in their life. The trust of someone who knows that they are not alone in this world, that they are not left to figure everything out by themselves. Every worry you have is based on the false belief that you are separate from the source of all good, but you're not separate. You never have been. You never could be. You are an expression of the divine, a unique and perfect manifestation of infinite love and intelligence. And just as a wave cannot be separated from the ocean, you cannot be separated from your source. When you truly understand this, worry becomes impossible. How can you worry when you know that the same force that creates miracles every day is creating miracles in your life? How can you be anxious when you realize that you are not just in the universe, but the universe is in you? How can you feel alone when you understand that you are connected to everything and everyone through the web of consciousness that binds all of creation together? The message that's coming to you today is clear. Let go. Release your need to control every outcome. Stop trying to manage the universe. Your job is not to figure out how everything will work out. Your job is to align yourself with love, to choose faith over fear, to trust in the process of life even when you can't see the whole staircase. This doesn't mean you become passive or stop taking action. It means you take inspired action instead of desperate action. It means you act from a place of confidence and trust rather than from anxiety and fear. When you trust, your actions become more effective because they're aligned with the natural flow of life rather than working against it. Look at the lilies of the field. They don't worry about tomorrow. They don't stress about whether they'll have enough water or sunlight. They simply bloom where they're planted, expressing their beauty and fulfilling their purpose without anxiety or fear. They trust in the process of life, and they are always provided for. You are no different from those lilies. You are part of the same creation, governed by the same laws, loved by the same source. The difference is that you have a mind that can think itself into worry, that can create problems where none exist, that can project fears onto a future that hasn't even happened yet. But you also have the power to use that same mind differently. You can choose thoughts that serve you instead of thoughts that hurt you. You can focus on what you want instead of what you fear. You can trust in the goodness of life instead of expecting the worst. Every time you choose trust over worry, you're not just changing your emotional state, you're actually changing your vibration, your energy, your magnetic field. And when you change your vibration, you change what you attract into your life. You begin to draw to yourself the very things you've been hoping and praying for. This is not wishful thinking. This is how the universe operates. Everything is energy, and like energy attracts like energy. When you vibrate with worry and fear, you attract situations that give you more reasons to worry and fear. But when you vibrate with trust and faith, you attract situations that confirm your faith and give you even more reasons to trust. The source of all creation is always speaking to you, always guiding you, always providing for you. But you can't hear its voice when your mind is filled with the noise of worry. You can't see the signs and synchronicities when your vision is clouded by fear. You can't receive the help that's always available when your hands are clenched in anxiety instead of open in receptivity. Today is the day to open your hands. Today is the day to quiet your mind. Today is the day to listen to the voice that's been trying to reach you all along. It's saying, I've got this. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to carry this burden alone. Trust me. Let me work through you and for you. When you start trusting instead of worrying, miraculous things begin to happen. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. People show up in your life at exactly the right time with exactly what you need. Resources appear from unexpected sources. Solutions present themselves for problems that seemed impossible to solve. This isn't magic. This is the natural operation of a universe that is always conspiring for your highest good. But it can only work when you allow it to work. And you allow it to work by trusting instead of worrying, by having faith instead of fear, by believing in love instead of buying into limitation. Remember, you are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not here by chance. You are here for a purpose, with gifts to give and a contribution to make. The same intelligence that brought you into being knows exactly what you need to fulfill that purpose. It knows when you need it, how you need it, and where you need it. Your job is simply to trust in this process and to align yourself with it. When you align yourself with trust, you stop pushing so hard. You stop trying to force outcomes. You stop exhausting yourself with worry and anxiety. Instead, you flow with life. You move with grace and ease. You allow the natural current of the universe to carry you toward your highest good. This doesn't mean you'll never face challenges. It doesn't mean everything will always be easy, but it means you'll face those challenges from a place of strength rather than weakness, from a place of faith rather than fear, from a place of connection rather than separation. Every challenge in your life is actually an opportunity for you to deepen your trust. Every problem is a chance for you to prove to yourself that the universe really does have your back. Every difficult situation is an invitation for you to let go of control and allow a higher intelligence to work through you. When you look back on your life, you'll see that your biggest breakthroughs often came after your biggest breakdowns. Your greatest victories often emerged from what seemed like your greatest defeats. Your most beautiful chapters often began when you thought the story was ending. This is the way life works. This is the way the universe operates. It's always creating something better for you, but sometimes it has to remove what's not serving you to make room for what will serve you. Sometimes it has to close one door to open a better one. Sometimes it has to end one chapter so a more beautiful chapter can begin. But you can't see this when you're consumed with worry. You can't appreciate the perfection of the process when you're focused on the temporary discomfort. You can't trust in the happy ending when you're convinced that the current plot twist is the final word. The voice that's speaking to you today wants you to know that the current plot twist is not the final word. The challenge you're facing is not the end of your story. The problem you're dealing with is not bigger than the power that lives within you. You are being asked to trust in something bigger than your current circumstances, something more powerful than your present situation, something more reliable than your past experience. You are being asked to trust in love, not just human love but divine love. The love that brought you into existence. The love that sustains you every moment. The love that will never leave you or forsake you no matter what you've done or what you haven't done. This love is not waiting for you to be perfect before it helps you. It's not holding back its blessings until you prove yourself worthy. It's pouring itself out on you right now, in this very moment, whether you feel it or not, whether you believe it or not, whether you deserve it or not. The only thing that blocks this love from being fully expressed in your life is your own resistance to it. And worry is one of the biggest forms of resistance there is. When you worry, you're essentially putting up a wall between yourself and the very thing you most need. You're blocking the flow of love, wisdom, and support that's always trying to reach you. But when you trust, you tear down that wall. You open the floodgates. You allow the infinite resources of the universe to flow into your life in ways that will absolutely amaze you. You become a channel for miracles, a conduit for blessings, a magnet for everything good. This is your natural state. This is how you were designed to live. Not in worry and fear, but in trust and faith. Not in scarcity and limitation, but in abundance and possibility. Not in separation and loneliness, but in connection and love. The shift from worry to trust is not something that happens overnight. It's a practice. It's a choice you make moment by moment, thought by thought, breath by breath. Every time you catch yourself worrying, you have an opportunity to choose again. Every time you feel anxiety rising, you have a chance to return to trust. You can say to yourself, wait a minute. I'm doing it again. I'm using my creative power to manufacture fear instead of faith. I'm forgetting who I am and whose I am. Let me remember. Let me return to trust. Let me align myself with love. And then you can take a deep breath and remind yourself of the truth. You can remember that you are loved beyond measure. You can recall that you are never alone. You can reconnect with the knowing that everything is working out for your highest good, even when it doesn't look that way on the surface. This is what it means to live by faith instead of by sight. It means trusting in what you know to be true at the deepest level, even when your circumstances seem to contradict it. It means believing in love even when you can't feel it. It means having faith in the process even when you can't see the outcome. The beautiful thing about trust is that it gets easier the more you practice it. The more you choose faith over fear, the more natural it becomes. The more you let go of control, the more you realize how much better things work out when you allow the universe to handle the details. The more you trust, the more you have to trust about. This is because trust creates an upward spiral in your life. When you trust, you feel better. When you feel better, you make better choices. When you make better choices, you create better outcomes. When you create better outcomes, you have more reason to trust. And the cycle continues, each rotation lifting you higher and higher. On the other hand, worry creates a downward spiral. When you worry, you feel worse. When you feel worse, you make poor choices. When you make poor choices, you create outcomes that give you more to worry about. And the cycle continues, each rotation pulling you lower and lower. But here's the good news. You can break out of the worry spiral at any moment. You can step into the trust spiral right now. You don't have to wait for your circumstances to change. You don't have to wait for proof that everything will be okay. You can choose trust first, and then watch as your circumstances begin to align with your new vibration. The voice that's speaking to you today is not asking you to trust in your own limited ability to figure everything out. It's asking you to trust in an unlimited intelligence that has never made a mistake, that has never failed to provide for its creation, that has never loved anyone less than completely. This intelligence knows things you don't know. It sees things you can't see. It has access to resources you're not even aware of. It can orchestrate circumstances in ways that would be impossible for you to arrange on your own. It can bring about solutions that are so perfect, so elegant, so beautiful that you'll wonder why you ever doubted. But it can only work when you get out of the way. It can only flow when you stop blocking it with worry. It can only create miracles when you create space for miracles by trusting instead of trying to control everything yourself. This is the invitation that's being extended to you today. Stop working so hard. Stop pushing so desperately. Stop worrying so intensely. Instead, relax into the arms of infinite love. Lean back into the embrace of divine intelligence. Let yourself be carried by the current of grace that's always flowing in your direction. When you do this, you'll find that life becomes easier, not because your challenges disappear, but because you're no longer fighting against the flow of life. You'll find that solutions come more quickly, not because you're smarter, but because you're no longer blocking the wisdom that's trying to reach you. You'll find that you're happier, not because your circumstances are perfect, but because you're no longer torturing yourself with worry about things you can't control. The peace you've been searching for is not somewhere out there. It's not dependent on your circumstances changing. It's not contingent on other people behaving the way you want them to. It's available to you right now in this moment, simply by choosing to trust instead of worry. This peace is your birthright. It's who you really are underneath all the conditioning, all the fears, all the beliefs that tell you life is hard and love is scarce. At your core, you are peace itself. You are love itself. You are trust itself. You are simply remembering what you've always known but perhaps forgotten along the way. The message that's coming to you today is a reminder of this truth. It's a call to return home to yourself, to remember who you really are, to reclaim the trust that is your natural inheritance as a beloved child of the universe. You don't have to earn this trust. You don't have to prove yourself worthy of it. You don't have to achieve a certain level of spiritual development before you can claim it. It's yours now. It's always been yours. It always will be yours. The only question is whether you'll accept it. Will you receive the gift of trust that's being offered to you? Will you let go of the worry that's been your constant companion and embrace the faith that wants to be your new best friend? Will you stop trying to control the universe and instead allow the universe to love and support you? This is not about being passive or irresponsible. It's about being wise enough to know the difference between what you can control and what you can't, and focusing your energy on what you can actually influence while trusting the greater intelligence to handle the rest. You can control your thoughts, your feelings, your choices, your actions, your responses. You cannot control other people, world events, natural disasters, the stock market, or the weather. But you don't need to control these things. The same intelligence that manages all of these perfectly can certainly handle your personal concerns as well. Your job is to align yourself with love, to be the best version of yourself, to share your gifts with the world, to treat others with kindness and compassion, to live with integrity and authenticity. When you do these things, you're cooperating with the universe instead of fighting against it. You're flowing with the current instead of swimming upstream. And when you flow with the current, you arrive at your destination with much less effort and much more joy. You realize that the journey itself is just as important as the destination, and that every step along the way has been perfectly orchestrated for your growth, your learning, and your evolution. The challenges you've faced have made you stronger. The setbacks you've experienced have redirected you towards something better. The losses you've endured have made room for new blessings. Mistakes you've made have taught you valuable lessons. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been meaningless. Everything has been part of a larger plan that's been working for your benefit all along. But you can only see this when you trust. When you worry, you focus on what's wrong and miss what's right. When you trust, you focus on what's possible and create space for miracles. When you worry, you see problems everywhere. When you trust, you see opportunities everywhere. The choice is always yours. In every moment, you can choose worry or trust, fear or faith, resistance or acceptance. And with each choice, you're creating your future. You're determining not just how you'll feel, but what you'll experience, what you'll attract, what you'll become. Choose trust. Choose it now. Choose it again in 5 minutes when your mind tries to pull you back into worry. Choose it tomorrow morning, when you wake up and the challenges are still there. Choose it every day, every hour, every moment, until choosing trust becomes as natural as breathing. When you make this choice consistently, you'll begin to see evidence everywhere that you are loved, that you are supported, that you are never alone. You'll start to notice the synchronicities that have always been there but that you missed when you were focused on your fears. You'll begin to receive the guidance that's constantly available, but that you couldn't hear over the noise of your worries. Most importantly, you'll start to experience the joy that is your natural state. Not the temporary happiness that comes from getting what you want, but the deep, abiding joy that comes from knowing who you are, and trusting in the love that created you, and that continues to sustain you every moment of every day. This joy is waiting for you. This peace is calling to you. This trust is your inheritance. The only thing standing between you and this experience is your willingness to let go of worry and embrace faith. The voice that's speaking to you today is the voice of infinite love. It's been speaking to you all along, waiting patiently for you to quiet your mind enough to hear it. It's saying what it's always said. You are loved. You are safe. You are never alone. Trust me. Let me love you. Let me guide you. Let me provide for you. Stop worrying and start trusting. This is not just a nice idea or a spiritual platitude. This is the truth about who you are and how the universe operates. This is the foundation upon which you can build a life of meaning, purpose, joy, and fulfillment. This is the key that unlocks the door to everything you've been searching for. The door is open. The invitation has been extended. The path is clear. All that remains is for you to take the first step. And that first step is simple. Stop worrying and start trusting. Make that choice now and let it be the beginning of the most beautiful chapter of your life story. You are loved beyond measure. You are supported in ways you cannot even imagine. You are never ever alone. Trust in this. Rest in this. Let this truth transform your life from the inside out. The worry stops here. The trust begins now, and your life will never be the same. There's something else you need to understand about this shift from worry to trust. When you make this transition, you're not just changing your mental state, you're actually changing your physical body as well. Worry creates stress hormones that flood your system, weakening your immune system, disrupting your sleep and accelerating the aging process. But trust creates a completely different biochemical response. It releases healing hormones, strengthens your body's natural defenses, and creates an environment where your cells can repair and regenerate optimally. Your body knows the difference between worry and trust at the cellular level. Every cell in your body is listening to your thoughts and responding accordingly. When you think worried thoughts, your cells contract and close down. When you think trusting thoughts, your cells expand and open up. This isn't metaphorical minus. This is actual biology. Your thoughts are literally shaping your physical reality from the inside out. Think about how you feel physically when you're worried versus when you're at peace. Worry creates tension in your shoulders, tightness in your chest, knots in your stomach. Trust creates relaxation in your muscles, ease in your breathing, lightness in your step. Your body is constantly giving you feedback about the quality of your thoughts. It's telling you whether you're aligned with your natural state of well-being or fighting against it. When you choose trust, you're not just improving your emotional life. You're literally healing your body. You're allowing your natural healing mechanisms to function as they were designed to. You're creating the optimal internal environment for health, vitality, and longevity. This is why people who live with faith and trust tend to live longer, healthier, happier lives than those who live in constant worry and stress. Now let's talk about something that might surprise you. The universe is not neutral about your success and happiness. It's not indifferent to your well-being. It's actually biased in your favor. The same force that grows flowers from tiny seeds, that heals cuts without your conscious intervention, that coordinates the migration of butterflies across continents. This force is actively working for your highest good every moment of every day. But it can't override your free will. This Ridness Trud. It can't force you to be happy if you're determined to be miserable. It can't make you successful if you're convinced you're destined to fail. It can't bring you love if you believe you're unworthy of love. It works with you, not against you. It responds to your beliefs, your expectations, your dominant thoughts and feelings. When you worry, you're essentially telling the universe, I expect problems. I anticipate difficulties. I believe things will go wrong. And the universe, being the perfect responder that it is, says your wish is my command, and brings you experiences that match your expectations. Not because it wants to hurt you, but because it's designed to give you what you focus on most consistently. But when you trust, you're sending a completely different message. You're saying, I expect good things. I anticipate blessings. I believe in positive outcomes. And the universe responds by orchestrating circumstances that confirm your faith and exceed your expectations. This is why grateful people seem to have more to be grateful for. This is why optimistic people seem to have more good luck. This is why trusting people seem to live charmed lives. They're not special or different from you. They've simply learned to align their thoughts and feelings with the natural abundance and goodness of life. You have this same power. You've always had it. You just might not have known how to use it consciously. But now you do. Now you understand that your thoughts are not just random mental activity. They're creative forces that shape your reality. Now you know that your feelings are not just emotional responses. They're magnetic fields that attract corresponding experiences. This puts tremendous power in your hands. It also puts tremendous responsibility on your shoulders. You can no longer blame your circumstances on bad luck or other people or unfair treatment. You have to own the fact that your experiences are largely the result of your own thinking patterns and emotional habits. But this is actually good news, not bad news. It means you're not a victim of circumstances beyond your control. It means you have the power to change your life by changing your thoughts. It means you don't have to wait for the world to change before you can be happy. You can be happy now and watch as the world changes in response to your new vibration. This doesn't mean you should blame yourself for everything that's ever happened to you. Some things are beyond your control, and some situations are the result of collective consciousness rather than individual thinking. But it does mean you have much more power over your experience than you might have realized. The key is to use this power wisely. Use it to create more love, not more fear. Use it to generate more peace, not more conflict. Use it to manifest more abundance, not more scarcity. Use it to build bridges, not walls. Use it to heal yourself and others, not to create more separation and suffering. When you make trust your default setting, you become a healing presence in the world. Your energy alone begins to calm others and remind them of their own innate peace. You become a living example of what's possible when someone chooses faith over fear, love over judgment, trust over worry. Children and animals are naturally drawn to people who live in this state of trust. They sense the safety and peace that emanates from someone who is aligned with their source. They feel the love that flows through someone who has removed the barriers between themselves and the infinite. But it's not just children and animals who respond to this energy. Everyone does, whether they're conscious of it or not. When you walk into a room in a state of trust and peace, you change the energy of that room. When you interact with others from a place of love and faith, you invite them to remember their own capacity for these qualities. This is how you heal the world, not by trying to fix everyone and everything around you, but by fixing your own relationship with trust and love. Not by worrying about all the problems in the world, but by becoming part of the solution through your own inner transformation. Every person who makes the shift from worry to trust makes it easier for others to make the same shift. Every individual who chooses love over fear adds to the collective field of consciousness that supports and encourages others to make similar choices. You are not just transforming your own life, you are contributing to the transformation of human consciousness itself. This is the ripple effect of trust. When you drop a stone of faith into the pond of your own consciousness, the ripples spread outward in ever-widening circles, touching lives you may never even know about. Your choice to trust instead of worry matters not just to you, but to everyone whose life intersects with yours, directly or indirectly. So when you make this choice, you're not being selfish or self-centered. You're being of service to the highest good of all. You're fulfilling your sacred responsibility to be a force for healing and transformation in this world. You're doing your part to tip the scales from fear to love, from worry to trust, from separation to unity. The time for this transformation is now. The world needs people who trust more than it needs people who worry. The world needs individuals who believe in love more than it needs those who focus on fear. The world needs souls who are willing to be lights in the darkness, beacons of hope in times of uncertainty, anchors of peace in stormy seas. You can be one of those people. You already are one of those people. You just need to remember it, claim it, and live it. You need to stop hiding your light under the bushel of worry, and let it shine forth for all to see. You need to stop diminishing your power with doubt, and start using it to create the kind of world you want to live in. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your opportunity to step fully into who you were created to be. Not someone who worries about the future, but someone who trusts in the process of life. Not someone who fears the unknown, but someone who walks confidently into each new day, knowing that you are loved, guided, and supported every step of the way. The voice that speaks to you today speaks with the authority of infinite love. It knows you better than you know yourself. It sees your potential when you can only see your limitations. It believes in your success when you're focused on your failures. It holds the vision of your wholeness when you're caught up in your brokenness. Listen to this voice. Trust this voice. Follow this voice. It will never lead you astray. It has been calling to you since the moment you were born, and it will continue calling until the moment you return home. It is the voice of your highest self, your truest nature, your divine essence. It is the voice of love itself, speaking through you, as you, for you. The worry ends now. The trust begins now. The new chapter of your life starts now. Welcome home to yourself. Welcome home to peace. Welcome home to the trust that has been waiting patiently for your return.